take a ride with me.
At a news conference, Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the U.S. will now present the offer to Russia.
We'll take this offer now to the Russians, and we hope that they'll say yes, to peace. The ball is now in their court. But again, the president's objective here is, number one, above everything else, he wants the war to end. And I think today Ukraine has taken a concrete step in that regard. We hope the Russians will reciprocate.
The Trump administration lifted its suspension of military aid and intelligence sharing for Ukraine. The National Transportation Safety Board is recommending a ban on some helicopter flights in the area where a military chopper and a passenger jet collided near Washington, D.C.
National Transportation Safety Board Chairwoman Jennifer Homendy says many helicopters and planes are flying way too close in the area where a Black Hawk helicopter collided with a passenger jet in January, killing 67 people. Homendy says choppers and planes can get as close as 75 feet from each other.
We're therefore recommending today that the FAA permanently prohibit operations on helicopter Route 4 between Haynes Point and the Wilson Bridge when runways 15 and 33 are being used for departures and arrivals at DCA.
Homendy says from the end of October 2021 to December 2024, there's been on average one near miss per month and more than 15,000 planes getting alerts of helicopters being too close. Donna Warter, Washington.
AP correspondent Danica Kirka reports from Greenland on elections.
Trump's comments about Greenland, which is home to about 56,000 people, may speed up the island's moves towards independence. As one lawmaker I spoke with earlier this week said, "We were always for independence, but Trump has changed everything."
This is AP News. Mourners in Houston are paying tribute to the late U.S. Representative Sylvester Turner of Texas. He's lying in state at City Hall. It's part of a week of public events to honor the Democratic lawmaker and former mayor.
As we stand on the steps of city government, it's symbolic that I'm speaking for Houstonians across our great city.
That's current Houston Mayor John Whitmire.
Our diversity. Sylvester knew each and every community, and he treated everyone with equality and inclusion.
Turner died at the age of 70 earlier this month. He was just weeks into his first term in the House, and he died only hours after attending President Donald Trump's address to Congress in Washington. His family said he died at his home following health complications. Turner is also scheduled to lie in state at the Texas Capitol beginning later this week. His funeral is scheduled for Saturday in Houston. I'm Haya Panjwani, AP News.
And maybe a little wet Saipan day. Could be worse. Hey, it is going to be a great one today. It's going to be even better because you guys are here with us today. 77 degrees out here in Saipan right now. And look at it. It is just starting to be awesome. And my gosh, I thought I was lowering the volume for the music. I was lowering the other one. So maybe you couldn't hear me so well. But man, what a heck of a week we've had so far this morning. And we're going to get you, we already got you a little bit of the news, but we're going to get you a little bit of a look at what's out there on the roads with traffic this morning while you're out and about trying to get your way from office to office and place to place. From your house to the office. I hope it's not office to office. I hope you actually get some time off. That would be helpful. All right, well, let's take a look real quick down at the roads. This is that little picture in the background is a live look at Olei right now. In fact, that's where we are right here. You can see that slow flow of traffic extends way past Minachamatao on its way all the way to the driveway for Marianas High School, and it goes past the old AK intersection. So if you're trying to get somewhere fast, don't expect it. All right, how about the CMG? If you're coming up from Beach Road and you're trying to make your way over to Middle Road, it is a little slow on your way to the intersection that matters at the home of where connections matter at IT&E. It's a little bit slow coming down Middle Road toward CMG as well. That's just how it goes, folks. So don't expect, you're not going to be able to pass anybody there. It's just going to be slow. Also, if you're coming down through Chalan-Kidza on your way past the intersection, it's slow building up to the intersection. There's always somebody who decides to try and stick their way out and try and get out there a little bit. All right, heading back down toward Beach Road a little bit. Let's keep you going so you can see what's happening. It's actually, once you get past the multipurpose center, it's not too bad. All the way south, it's a little bit slow over there at the intersection by Mount Carmel because there's some places that are paved there and some are not. No, you cannot come up with the logic that GPPC has for paving, but it doesn't matter. All you have to know is that right now, if you're coming down Tun Joaquin Doi, it's going to be a little slow all the way from the village all the way down to the Beach Road intersection. It's a little slow heading south on your way down Beach Road to that intersection as well. Over at Hopwood, they might have modular classrooms, but they do not have modular parking. It is slow trying to get in there and drop off your kid. But at least they have better classrooms to go to. That whole area from Blue Sky Market all the way up to the mobile station is going to be slow, guys. So don't expect to get through there quickly at all. Glut Dog Hardware looks pretty good. Even Food Stamp looks pretty good. Gotta like that. But again, the slow go and Aslito continues again, infinito, because all the way down from Maddie's Barbecue heading all the way to the Shell gas station at Dandan. It is slow, like painfully slow, and people are telling us about it, and they're not saying good things. The good news is, though, it's a little bit better along CMG as you're trying to make your way past CUC in Dandan. Yes, there's always somebody trying to make a left-hand turn that's going to gum up the works for everybody, but hey, it happens. The good news is that while you might not be on time, at least the new Student Center is going to be on time for NMC. So hooray for applesauce. All right, let's walk around to San Vicente. That's right, as you make your way up the little curves, it's a little bit slow, and you get by that intersection or by the old roundhouse, it is SLOW. It is definitely slow. Now, if you're making your way past San Vicente Elementary School, you better be slowing down because this is the time when parents got to drop off their kids. Some of them are walking through there, and over there by Maymay Martin at Tibu Drive, that's one of the back ways to get in over there by the school. So just take your time when you're coming down the hill from Papago. It's actually really slow. I don't know if somebody got caught behind a bus there or something. But when you're going past the elementary schools, be safe. Cagman looks pretty good. Going up through the shopping district, the Capitol Hill shopping district, it's a little bit slow. Once you go past Capitol Hill Mart, New Sarah Market, and Zenju Mart, it is a little bit slow. It is. There's nothing you can do. The bottom of Easy Drive by Middle Road, it's a little bit backed up, but I've seen much worse. I've had worse, just a flesh wound. It's a little bit slow over there by the Shell station in Puerto Rico. That's right, the Boricua home of petroleum is a little bit slow. It's also a little bit slow over there by the MH buildings, the Marianas Heights complex. Why? Because everybody just wants to get some benefits. There's so many federal benefits coming out of that building. Who knows? How about the bottom of Navy Hill? Meh, not too bad. It's a minor setup. It's not even a backup head north all the way to the gate, and then come down the hill. It's just not even backed up to the drive, so that's pretty good. How about Garapan Elementary? Oh, yeah, if your kid's not already there, pack a second lunch because you're going to be in line for traffic for a while. Folks, Corporal Darren's Jack Road and Orchid Street, you pick what you want to call it. It is all slow through there as kids try to get dropped off to school. They want their education. Get them their smarts. Okay, they will. Other than that, not too bad. Let's see, the Black Hole of Doom is slowing traffic down again out in front over there by the museum. But it's not actually that bad. The traffic actually looks slower going north. Not bad. All right, well, Fanter guys have been, after getting their hands slapped, they have been out there trying to get stuff done. The rest of Middle Road is stop and go. Whether you're over there by the Gualarai intersection, by Subway, by ExoMart, you forget it. It's going to be a little bit slow, especially with those perennial plates that are in the middle of that road over there. It's a little crazy. It, of course, slows down when you get down toward McDonald's because people trying to get in there, make that left-hand turn and get their breakfast. Their breakfast! All right, well, that's your first look at traffic today. And want to remind you that our phone lines are open this morning. You can give us a call at 789-2323. 789-2323. Brad, why are you dressed so fancy today? Well, I am dressed fancy today because we have a stakeholders meeting with the Department of Defense, or at least what's left of it. We're going to meet with them today over at World Resort, find out what's going on, what our next plans are, the next stages of all this development, of all the stuff that's happening in Saipan, Tinian, and Rota, and beyond. We'll find out, from the heads of these different organizations, what's on tap. The good news is, so I'm going as part of the Saipan Chamber of Commerce, one of the board members, and we are using this as an opportunity to also set up for quality engagements with the DOD for our economic forum that's going to be taking place next month. All that info will be coming out soon. I don't have all that for you, but there is going to be an economic forum where we're going to hear from some of those heavies about everything that's going on. We'll hear about China, and we'll hear about the developments that we have. Pretty sure, though, they're not going to be able to give too much into the their ideas and thoughts about what's going on with our adversaries in the region. They can't. They won't because, but hopefully we'll get some real intel and something that they're at least able to release for us a little bit. All right. Now, did you guys watch last night? I know you watched yesterday morning. You watched the interviews that we had with the folks in Palau, and we got y'all caught up with everything that happened. But did you watch the video yesterday afternoon, evening? You guys might have been driving. You might have already been happy houring. Who knows? But we did get an interview with Krista Turibyung, and she gave us her thoughts and her perspective on everything that ended up happening over the weekend that led to the article, which led to everything else. I think Peeling fell in love. I think that's what happened, Peeling. I think Peeling fell in love while she was on the screen talking. I don't blame you, Peeling. I think that's what happened. Oh, man. Well, we're going to show that to you again today. Hey, good morning, Luisa. Great to see you today. Toba Castro, great to see you this morning. Thanks for tuning in. It has been an epic week. I can't believe it. Peeling, my brother, it's so great to see you. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Connie, wonderful to see you again this morning, too. Arlene, good morning. I love it, all the messages you guys are giving. Sophia, thank you so much for tuning in again today. Dental, Donna, thanks for tuning in this morning. Great to see you today. Got everybody out here. Mimi, thank you for tuning in. Glenn Hunter, oh my gosh, it's like the all-star of viewers out here today. He's still breathing hard from that. I'm telling you, last night was something. I got so many messages after the morning broadcast, and I got a ton also after last night. In fact, I don't mind walking you through a couple of those messages. I won't tell you who they're from. That part doesn't matter so much, right? But some of them were funny. So one of our family friends reached out to Kathy and said, I'm going to have to start watching Brad's show now. I can't believe it. That part was hilarious to me because she started watching and getting involved into all the commentary. This one is a major WTF on today's show. This should go national, not global. One of our friends in Chalakidza is saying, hey, I'm trying to get some work done tonight, and I can't because I can't stop listening to the show. This is about the interview yesterday morning. Like, I can't stop listening to it. It's crazy. I'm like, it is crazy. And he's like, I keep waiting for you guys to say this is all a joke. But it's not. It's true. I know. I know. Oh, man. I know. Good morning, Tamara. Great comments, too. Bruce, good morning. Thanks for tuning in. Great to see you. It is Saipan's TMZ or World Star. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But I love the idea of Law and Order Micronesia. And instead of hearing the chung chung, you hear just two ukulele strums. Chung chung. And I got to see if we can get that done by, we got to make it legit. Get Gus Kaipat to do that for us, because I'd love to hear it. I mean, if you're going to get the best strums, you got to get it from him. That's it. Law and Order Olimwai. That's it. That is great. We're going to replay that interview in a little bit, but in the meantime, you guys, let us know what you think. The phone line's open. I'd love to talk to you guys if you want to call in. This is a great time. Don't worry, you're not going to be on for a half an hour unless you want to be. But if you just want to call in and weigh in with a little something, we'll take it, because that was great. Tobot says, that's why y'all not subscribed. Go hit that bell button and like and subscribe. Yeah, exactly. Hey, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the page. Follow us at NMI News Service. I'm not sure what channel you're watching us on, but follow us on the NMI News Service. You could be watching on all kinds of channels. And if you're over there on YouTube, please subscribe to us. The YouTube channel is NMI News 670. And so please subscribe to us over there. We got to build that up a little bit too. But man, the other thing is, don't stop. Thank you, Tobot. Tobot posting all the links in the comments, you guys, if you're wondering how to get to those places. We're also on Instagram. That's a good point. I need to get more of a focus on that. I am posting on Instagram for sure, but I didn't post on it as much when we first started. So that's a place of growth for us. But hoping to hear your comments if you guys call. Peeling. Oh, well, hey, Peeling, if you need it, I know where you can get an attorney to help you out with that. I'm of course, jokes, man, jokes. But, man, yeah. So please give us a call. I want to hear from you. I want to hear what you thought about all that stuff. I'm going to take a sip of coffee here. Hold on. Yeah, so our number is 789-2323. And, man, and you guys sent me a lot of messages. What's up? My messenger has never blown up as much as it did yesterday. Hey, good morning, Juan. Thanks for tuning in. Great to see you. Thanks for coming back. Did you catch all that stuff yesterday, too? Chris Tomakane from Tacoma. They named the truck after the place where Chris lives because his Sonic is pretty awesome. Man, have you guys seen Chris Tomakane's pickup? His Hilux is amazing. It is a sweet looking ride. He's part of, is it The Kind? Or What a Kind? What a Kind Car Club out there in Tacoma. You should put your link to that group on here too so people can check it out, Chris. Pop it in the comments over on the NMI News Service so people can see it. Because your truck is awesome, dude. It is really cool. You brought the passion for those trucks to the mainland, and really, it's awesome, dude. It is super cool. All right, let's talk about this. So what did we learn yesterday? I gotta have some coffee before I get into this. All right, asterisk, another sip of coffee. We learned a lot yesterday. These whole past couple of days about people who are alive, then they weren't alive, but they really were alive, and the reporting on this. In fact, let's go to that Tia Bilal site and let's bring that to you, because when we were speaking with, oh boy, did he message us? Hold on, let me see. Let me see if he already messaged us. Now, it's still early over there in Palau. They're just creeping up on 7 o'clock. They're not quite there yet. And but they were saying that they were going to go for it. Let me see, because he messaged me on the personal. messenger, not on my the NMI News Service messenger. One second, hold on. I got a different message. Scroll. No, he didn't message me that story. But all right, no fear. Let me go over to Tia Palau's Facebook right here, or their website too. Tia Palau. By the way, one of the cool things that's happened through all this is getting to meet all these folks from Palau over the years, but them reaching out to me now, and then they're in Palau now, like people who used to live here. It has been so great to reconnect with folks I haven't seen in years because of all this. All right, I'm scrolling through. Oh, it's not even there. Come on, I'll share the screen with you guys here in just a second here. This is it. This is the site. So, Palau tourism, Palau leads the way in gender equality, domestic affairs, courtesy meetings, Australia Day, but not this one. Let's keep going just in case. Just in case. No, that's all March 7th stuff, so that would be too late. How about top stories? No. How about local news? No. Public forum? No. Lifestyle? Oh, it's not there. Now, here's what he told us. He told us that it's going to be on there, and it's going to be like the top story. Right? I mean, like, that's it. I want to see maybe if they put it on their social media part. I also asked him, oh, it's in the Island Times. Okay, Island Times picked up the story 15 hours ago. They just reported on it. So how about that? So props to you, Island Times. Is that Palau? It is Palau. Here, there it is. Here's the story on Island Times in Palau. And they've got all those screenshot conversations. All of that stuff is there. Who wrote that one? Leilani. Oh my God, Leilani, I think she's being sued by the government too in Palau. That's an even more interesting story. We definitely would love to get her on the show. Anyway, they did an in-depth report on it. And they include all the messages that Moses Uludong sent to us as well. You can see all those things that were on the show yesterday. They're there in the story. I love it. We didn't get that I don't think we got that kind of coverage of it here. What does it say? Maybe it was fact-checked. Maybe. Well, we're waiting for it, right? We're waiting for the updates on that one. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, yep. I got a request for a copy of the interview. I'll send the link for that for sure. So I'll have to get back on there. Tia Palau. Where are you, Tia Palau? Let me get back to that. See, it's like I get so distracted. Look, a squirrel. We're checking for Tia Palau's social media now. Let's see if it's on there. Oh, it's capturing this, I bet. Yeah. There we go. All right, Tia Palau. We're opening it up. This is their social media. And it's from the 7th. So it's just not as up to date right away as ours. But I do like that they have it. I wonder, though, does that mean that we're going to be able to see that little newspaper clip? No, because then it goes straight to January 9th, January 6th. Well, let's just say that is, they posted on March 7th the full January issue. All right, so we do our news a little different. All right. Leilani's the owner of the Island Times. Yes, I would love to get her on. Love to get her on. If you know Leilani, and you can reach out to her, that would be awesome. Like, just to feel her out to see if she's okay with getting her on the show. I'd love to get her on the show. In fact, here, let's see. Let's just go to the, like, if there's a contact us tab down here. Yeah, I do have the phone number for the office, but I wouldn't want to call her cold on the phone. Like, I'd like to message her first, so maybe that's what we'll end up doing. But if you guys, if you have a good relationship with her and you can kind of make that soft contact with her, find out if she's up for it and what time, we'd love to do it. Now, today, I got to get out of here. Like, when the show's supposed to end, I really have to leave today because I got that forum at 10 o'clock. I can't go late. I mean, maybe I could a little bit. Maybe I can go to 9:30. But that would be a great interview to get her perspective on it. And I just know that right now it's 2 minutes before 7 o'clock in Palau. And I wouldn't call people at that time unless they know, unless they're expecting it. Yeah, I see that. More like the Real Housewives of the Marianas. That's a great one. Over on YouTube. That's great. That is, man, I'll tell you, that is 100% it. We've had some interesting times with this story so far. And is there more going? Yes, I'm sure. Oh, let me just send a message. Just 1 sec. All right. All right. Well, we're not going to be able to see the story that we were hoping to see online because it's just not there. And hopefully, we'll eventually see it. So not too bad. All right. Well, let's get to it. Let's see. It is 7:59. Let's do this. We're going to take a quick break. And we're going to go and give you guys the latest update from the Associated Press that cracks open just about any second now. Let's see. Let me just refresh it. Yep, it is available now. We're going to talk to you about a couple of our sponsors, and then we're going to get to that interview again. And maybe in the meantime, we'll be able to sort out that other interview. But I'll tell you what. So, all right. Wait, no, I'm not. Not yet. But you should go on the schedule. I know. But all right, I'll give you guys updates. I'll let you know what we know. So, when we spoke with Moses, he's like, oh, you know what you should do? You should find out who that uncle is. Remember they talked about it was the uncle, Robert Boyd, who called and made that phone call, spoke with the president and messaged the president that she had passed and succumbed to her injuries and all that stuff. Well, you guys flooded me with messages about who that is and who you think that is. People at different places have said that they've seen them together. At one point, they said that he refers to her as his wife. And I'm not going to put the guy's name out there. I'm not going to put that guy's name out there because he's not really part of the whole thing, right? He's not at least public. But people have told us his name, sent us his photos, said they see them together all the time. I mean, that's all gossipy stuff, right? I know, but it's good. And that, but more importantly, they said like about their nature together. That's their own gossipy stuff. But you guys sent us a whole bunch of info like about who that guy is and all that. And I'm like, oh, interesting. All right. Again, not talking about who he is. I'm not putting his name out there or anything. But if they end up saying that they think that there's they were trying to scam him or something like that for money or whatever, like then, and there's charges one day, then fine. Then we'll talk about that story. But right now that hasn't happened. But we got the story about him and then so we started looking him up. And he's got like 5 or 6 different Facebook profiles with different names. Same photos, different names. And like he changed his name, like an AKA and all this other stuff. I know, and this is true. Some distraction to steer away from the real economic problems. I know that's exactly what this is. This is just juicy stuff to steer us away from the real stuff that's going on. But you could not have orchestrated this. Like, this is not you notice how the media only pays attention to this issue to distract us? No, this is just like, holy crap, like we're chasing it. It's interesting to us. So we've got a pretty good idea who that guy is, who the uncle might be. At least that's our suspect. Not like we're criminal investigators or anything like that. But and we know a little bit about them, and then we found all those different things. And I'll tell you what, you can look at yourself in the mirror for this. And I always view with a little bit of skepticism people who have multiple names or name changes and multiple social media profiles. I don't mean like one on Facebook, one on Instagram. No, I mean like if you've got like 6 Facebook profiles, and you're not 14, right? Like I know kids, they probably change their profiles a lot. People were picking on me with this one, so I'm gonna start a new one or something. They still have to figure out what social media is all about when they're kids or something like that, right? Plus, should they have it? That's another question. But if you're an adult and you've changed your name and you're not hiding from the mob, right? If you're not like a witness protection program kind of guy, and you changed your name, and you've got different Facebook profiles with different names, then you got the also known as, like all those kind of. I'm like, I already like spidey senses tingling. Yeah, so instead of Diddy's baby oil, it's Palau's coconut oil. Nice, Chris. Real nice. Jesus. You guys. So anyway, all this is to say that we're following it. We're following all of it, and we're here for it too. So if you guys have some stuff for us on it, send it our way. Every little bit is interesting to us. What's another one? The car incident. Again, we never talked about the names of the people who were in the car in the lagoon, and we're not gonna because it doesn't matter because there's no charges that were filed in the case. But through some of the conversations that we've heard with people who are involved with it, that they may have been, there may be more to that story than just an issue with the steering. They may have been having some sort of a domestic issue at that time. No charges or anything. That's their own personal stuff. It wasn't like something that was charges worthy, but they may have been having something. So there may be more to that story than just a steering issue, but no charges filed. And it's still under investigation too, but that's probably how that's going to wrap up. We did ask, though, based on your questions, what should happen in an event like that? Because it doesn't happen often, right? Where a vehicle goes into the water. And so about all those things that were floating and all that, and they are responsible to pick that up. And they said that we should reach out to BECQ to get a more definitive answer from them. Who's responsible for getting that kind of stuff. So don't have the full answer. I don't have an official answer on that, but that is what they gave us over at DPS about the who's responsible for picking up stuff when you go into the ocean with your car and your stuff starts floating away. Who's supposed to get it, right? Hopefully it's a question that only has to get answered once every 20 years. This is only the second incident where I heard where a car went in. Officer, the tide came in faster than I thought. Chris, jeez. Coming in hot tonight. Oh, this morning. Well, tonight for you guys out there on the West Coast. Anyway, so that's your update. We're going to play that interview again, but first I'm going to get you the latest update that we have from the Associated Press. They come out with a new one at the top of every hour, and we've got it now as well, so we're good to go. Then we're going to give you some words from our sponsors. Who are some of our sponsors? Well, we can tell you all about them. One of our favorites, of course, Laddie Built 24-Hour Fitness. It's the newest facility in the CNMI for working out. They've got everything you need, from the free weights to the racks to all the equipment. They got an octagon. They got the heavy bags. They've got classes. They've got a hot sauna. They've got a cold plunge. They're open 24 hours a day. So you don't have an excuse anymore. Brad? Yes, Brad? Brad, you don't have an excuse anymore for not working out because they're open 24 hours a day. So you need to get yourself down there. And they understand that being a member at a gym isn't exactly cheap all the time, right? But that gym doesn't pay for itself, but the benefits do. So they're making it easier for you to get out there and pay for your membership by offering bi-weekly payments. That's right, you can pay based on your paycheck schedule, like half every time. And who else is doing that? Answer, nobody. So they want to do that for you to make it easier for you to get your membership so you can work out and start feeling better about yourself right away. That's right. No one ever says they're having a bad day because of their workout. No. After they get done with that workout, they feel better. Well, enough about it, hearing it from me. You can head down there and check them out for yourself over there. They're just down the street in Chalcanoa on Beach Road in the shadow of the Aquarius Beach Tower. Don't sacrifice your fitness. Put yourself first in this thing and do it based on your schedule. Give them a call. Check them out. Laddie Built 24-Hour Fitness.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. The U.S. has lifted suspensions of military aid and intelligence sharing for Ukraine following talks in Saudi Arabia. Sagar Magani has details.
It's a sharp shift from just a week ago when the administration imposed the measures to push Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky into peace talks. Ukraine now says it's open to a 30-day ceasefire in the Russia war. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who led the talks, says the U.S. will give the offer to Moscow.
If they say no, then we'll unfortunately know what the impediment is to peace here.
At the White House,
hopefully President Putin will agree to that also, and we can get this show on the road.
President Trump says he hopes to reach a deal in the next few days and may talk with Putin this week. Zelensky says Ukraine has sought peace since the war started, and the guns will immediately fall silent if Russia signs on. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
Another turnabout on tariffs. President Trump this morning threatening to double planned taxes on Canadian steel and aluminum to 50%. But that's been halted after Ontario Premier Doug Ford suspended planned surcharges on electricity sold to the U.S. He told CTV.
Rather than going back and forth and having threats to each other, we have both agreed. Let cooler heads prevail.
The Trump administration is still planning to impose a 25% tariff on all steel and aluminum imports starting tomorrow. Polls have opened in Greenland for early parliamentary elections. The self-governing region of Denmark's home to 56,000 people, most from indigenous Inuit backgrounds. President Trump says he wants to take control of Greenland for strategic purposes. Federal investigators looking for the cause of the January collision between a passenger jet and an Army helicopter near Washington, D.C. are recommending a ban on some helicopter flights near Reagan National Airport. This is AP News. U.S. employers posted 7.7 million job openings in January, an increase from the month before and a sign that President Trump inherited a strong labor market when he took office. More losses for stocks today, but not as dramatic as Monday. Seth Sutel has details in the AP Markets Report.
Wall Street ended moderately lower after careening from a small gain to as much as 10% below its recent record. The whipsaw trading followed the latest escalation in President Donald Trump's trade war. The S&P 500 fell 0.8% Tuesday. The benchmark index had been down as much as 1.5%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 478 points. It's about 1.1%. The Nasdaq Composite held up better, slipping just 0.2%. Trump said he would double his planned tariffs on steel and aluminum from Canada, a retaliation that prompted the provincial government of Ontario to back down on its planned surcharges on electric power sold to the U.S. Seth Sutel, New York.
And I'm Ben Thomas, AP News. Thanks for listening.
Got Medicaid? Paradise Dental's got you covered. We've got you covered from the moment you walk in the door with some of Saipan's best smiles. Medicaid covers your fillings, your extractions, and your checkups with no out-of-pocket expense. And Medicaid covers all of your x-rays without any additional cost to you. So remember, if you've got Medicaid, you're covered. Don't wait for a toothache. Call Paradise Dental today. Come here often.
Hey, I'm Coach Derek Cutting, the owner and founder of Laddie Built Fitness. So no matter who you talk to here at Laddie Built, everyone feels that they are part of a family, part of a group of like-minded people. No one feels judged. No one feels like they're being teased or picked on or looked down upon because maybe they don't know what they're doing. They could be brand new and have no idea what they're doing. They might be overweight or really skinny and feel very self-conscious about themselves. But at Laddie Built, nobody judges here. And if you ask anybody here that might be in better shape than you, or even not, but has experience in the gym, they will gladly help you through a workout and teach you a few techniques that could help you. So Laddie Built organically from day one, since the boot camp era, has organically grown this fostered environment of community and being a safe place, but a strong work ethic community of people that want to get work done. All I can say is that I put my heart and soul into it from day one. I treated everyone like that at the boot camp from the very, very beginnings, and everyone at the same time would treat each other like that from the boot camp era as well. And as we grew, as we got into a brick and mortar facility, we got bigger and bigger, I feel like people definitely just take this place as a home, as like their brother and sisters are working out next to them, not their enemy or not their competitor, So organically, it's just the vibe here is different. Everyone feels very, very comfortable, and I love the fact that it happened like that.
Get down. It is 1974 and we're playing the latest hits. From Gladys Knight to Saturday night. That's right. You're tuned in to the Wolfman Jack Show here. Styling from the islands. That's what we do. We bring it just for you. That's right. So, pop your collars, wear your shirts with the flowers. It's disco time in the Marianas, and we're doing it for you, baby. That's right.
Did I just get possessed? Yeah, I think maybe. I don't know what happened there. But I don't know, it's something about that music. Threw that in. Hey, we're about to get to some of that interview, but we saw that there was this story that came out the other day. From the folks over there in Rhoda. That's right, our representative, even though we don't live in Rhoda. I love Julie Ogo. She is just great. Sounds like Ron Jeremy walked in. That's right. Anybody call for a plumber? She did this story. She put out this press release about what's going on with a bill to finally get some funding for CBP for Rhoda, because it says right there, it says the municipality of Rhoda is absorbing the cost of sending a CBP officer from Saipan every day for these flights, costing about $6,000 a month. And so she's reaching out to Kimberly King Hines and James Moylan to say, hey, can you get CBP to establish an office here so we don't have to pay for people to do this all the time? Because it's a heavy load for the whole office. And you know what? That's right. Because remember when it was just Donald Manglonia and Paul Manglonia who were splitting it? Right. That's one thing. But how much has Rhoda actually paid so far for that kind of stuff? I mean, I bet it's a lot of money. That expense is crazy. But leaving it to just those two seats for one senator and the only representative at the time, to foot that bill is ridiculous, right? I think that should be a Commonwealth-wide cost if it's not being paid for by CBP itself, right? It should be something that gets shouldered by the whole thing. But the other thing is that, they say that Rhoda hasn't paid for the airfare since January, but the Border Patrol still makes it to Rhoda. How do they do it? How does CBP still get there? They're getting it for free, or they're at least getting it done by Star Marianas is still booking somebody on that flight. Even if they're not getting paid, they are still sending someone there and still paying for it. They're giving up a seat every time. And they're asking, all they ask, by the way, is that they send somebody, because those smaller planes, those smaller flights, you know, there's only so much weight that you're allowed to carry on those planes, right? So they ask respectfully, can you send a smaller officer, right? Is it too much to ask? Can you send someone who doesn't weigh as much as possible just so we can divert more? Since you're not paying for the flight, could you send someone smaller so that we can focus on our main business of flying people and cargo between the islands? And then the folks from CBP got butthurt about that. They're like, hey, we're not sizists here. Yeah, be practical. If you're paying for it, that's different. But if they're literally doing you a favor and doing the island of Rota a favor to help keep inter-island commerce going, the least you could do is send the least of a person, at least physically, back and forth. Anyway, it says, let's find out this. Yeah, I'm curious about it and like how that works. Yeah, and that's not fat shaming, folks, because that would really start with my reflection in that camera lens I'm looking at right now. But again, it's not fat shaming somebody to say there's a reason why when we were playing, I was going to give like a local reference to that. So let me change it. There's a reason why the 85 Bears didn't play William the Refrigerator Perry as wide receiver, right? He's still just as important to the team, but in a different role, right? And it was just not appropriate to pop him in that role. If you're getting a free flight from an airline to go and have to help your agency do your job, and they just request, can you send someone smaller? They're not looking for a flight attendant that looks hotter, right? That's not what they're going for. They're not saying, can you send someone with a more sunny disposition? They're not saying, hey, can you have them hike up their short skirts or something? No, they're saying, hey, look, we got to transport people. This is the business that we have. Can you just put a smaller officer in that free seat? Because it's not getting paid for and it takes away from their bottom line for cargo and everything. That seems to me like 100% reasonable request, right? That's it. It's completely reasonable. Anybody should know that. The only people who would take an issue with that, I don't know. Maybe they're too wrapped up in that DEI stuff. But you can't spell diet without DEI. Okay. But like, hey, it's not about picking on anybody's size. It's about, hey, that's a practical request. That is a sensible request. They should get that, right? Yeah, they credit the flights. There we go. I see that thoughts about the SNAL meeting yesterday. Okay, well, just a moment on that. Yeah, he said, I don't know why they removed CBP from Rota. They had a spot. I tinted the main office. Yeah, the funny thing is, I've flown to Guam through Rota, and it was fine, but it was a little weird where you have to go through CBP, and they did all the screening through their phone. They don't have, at least when I went in December flying through Star, they did not have their own computer terminal there. They literally handled all of the screening for the passengers flying from Rota to Guam on a cell phone. Now, that is great to say about like how far technology has come and all that other stuff. But what it screams to me is how little they value the need for us to have inter-island commerce. That's why 100% this study that they're doing to create an inter-island ferry between Rota and Guam is so important for personnel and for cargo. Like, there's a need. It's a big need. And what a massive benefit it would be to the people of Rota if they could have a roll-on, roll-off ferry between Guam and Rota. You know how massive that would be for the people of Rota? It would be for the entire CNMI, by the way. It's not just the people of Rota. The entire CNMI would benefit from having a roll-on, roll-off ferry that could deal with the seas between Rota and Guam. People can bring their vehicles there. They can get gas. They can get, I mean, there's still going to be a gas station in Rota. There always will be. There's always going to be a need. People got to get back and forth to do everything they want, right? But there's a limited number of rental cars. So, but imagine how many people would come over for a vacation. How many people would come over just for the weekend? I know people who have boats who really enjoy going from Guam to Rota. They enjoy trolling the whole way there too, like fishing. They would pass that up to drive on to the ferry to get round trip service from Rota to Guam. I'm telling you, everything would be better. The amount that people would pay for goods would be lower. The amount that people would pay for vehicles would be lower because they could buy a vehicle in Guam and bring it over on that ferry. They could drive it over instead of bringing it from Saipan. It makes great sense. Right? Hold on, let's see what this is. Hold on, I gotta see this video. Hold on, I don't know who this is. I'm trying to mute it. That's not George Castro, but that's a different one. I got to check that out. So the immediate impact to Rota will be massive. Again, so I've been in a meeting with the consultants and who are doing that, and I can tell you somebody mentioned in that meeting that there's no interest for passenger travel between Rota and Guam on a ferry, only cargo. What do you think about that? And I'd love to hear about it from folks from Rota. I mean, I'm probably not getting them on the show right now, but really, passenger service. Somebody from our business community said to these guys that there's no interest in passenger ferry service between Guam and Rota. And I say that I don't believe that to be true. I think people would absolutely be interested in doing that. I would do that. People from Guam would come over. You know, with all the cultural renaissance that we've experienced here in the last 10 years, all those folks from Guam who want to come over and reconnect with their island brothers and sisters right across, you can see the other island from there. I mean, on a clear day, you can see Rota from here too. You can even see Anatahan. True story. But you could see the island. You could see Anderson Air Force Base from Rota and vice versa. So people would definitely do that. Tourism, absolutely, because they can go and they're not spending however much it costs to get there by air. And they could bring their own vehicle. Maybe they camp, maybe they set up a tent, who knows? But yeah, it says, yes, been on a ferry. You can bring your car back in 2004. Germany's way advanced. Oh my God, I've done it in different places in the world. I've been on ferries that do that stuff. And people would do it. And imagine, what were people paying, like $80 for a sack of rice in Rota? Holy crap. Are you serious? How much you think that goes down if you can go over there with a pickup and come back, right? On your personal, right? And the other thing is that the stores in Rota, while you think that maybe that's going to hurt the economy by hurting the stores over there in Rota, I could see how you could see that. But the reason why they're paying so much is because of how much it costs to get all their stuff to Rota. Well, those guys are going to be able to do the same thing. Wheel over a box truck over to Guam and bring it back. So their price to the consumer's going to go down as well. it would be a big plus for them. And you would think Tan Holdings would totally be on board for this because they've got, one hotel over there. They bought Valentino's, right? And then what's the other one next to it? Is it the Coral something? Coral Garden, I think. That's the folks who also own the pizzeria. You figure they're going to be involved. I could tell you, I feel that would be such a boon to Rhoda's economy. Like, imagine all of those, like, you know when you're coming down from San Paulo and you first get into to the village and you see those nice buildings, all those concrete buildings that are vacant, that all can be occupied. They're prime real estate if people are there, right? Especially now, Song becomes this great seaside village that everybody's going to be able to do it. Yes, Sean nailed it. He said, we need a free trade agreement with Guam. Imagine what that would do. I mean, for the whole CNMI, but just between Guam and Rhoda. So the thing is, like, and speaking of Sean, like, right now, again, it's limited amount of seats that you guys can provide, right, when you're flying between Guam and Rhoda, and people use them and they're great, right? I think this opens it up to more people, more interest. It doesn't. I don't think it takes away from it. I think it adds to it. That's it. I think it's just additive because people are still going to want to get there fast and back and forth and all that, right? I think it would be a plus for everybody involved if we had this. Brad, yeah, did you do an economic study on this? Oh, okay. But I tell you what, $80 for a 50-pound sack of rice, the economics are pretty clear. You know, if you got something that would definitely help the whole economy over there, it would be a boon to the economy. And you might get more people who want to come over to do work stuff. You know, what if they roll on? It depends on like what timing of the fair. I figure you'd have to go back and forth twice a day. That might be a bit much. Maybe you just need a morning and the evening each way. And if you do that, then, you know, we got people who roll over for work and go back. Maybe it opens up jobs for people in Rhoda who go there to go and get jobs that just aren't in Rhoda yet, but they're able to go there and come back. It says we need surface travel, better customs processing, and U.S. CBP and normalized immigration. 100%, we absolutely do. Frank says, how can the government benefit if it's free trade? Will we get or collect as a benefit? Just tuned in, so I didn't really hear everything, but free trades means no taxes, so how can the economy boom? You know, it's almost like, Frank, you know, we could walk it through the whole way. We're talking about like an economic life preserver for the people at Rhoda. If we end up having free trade between Guam and the CNMI, it's just one extra thing, one extra rate that people aren't getting. And by the way, the government benefit, we shouldn't be operating in a world that just benefits the government. We should be operating in the world where the government benefits us, right? Like all these, when they're talking about we need to come up with revenue generating bills, no, we don't. We should not be looking for ways to just generate funds right now unless we know exactly what it's going to be spent on. If there's a need, we need to fill it. That's my take on it. Yeah, but and you know what? I think it would be and it's not just about beneficial for those who are in businesses. You know, like thinking about this one in particular, I'm thinking about like $80 for a 50-pound sack of rice. You're paying $50 for a case of beer. A case of beer, $24, $50 for like Bush. Like, holy crap, that's crazy. You can't even drink your cares away. So I think what happens is you end up creating a local job, and I believe it'll be federally assisted too, federally funded, because you're going to have maintenance on those ferries. So you're going to have people who work on it all the time. You're going to have the people who drive those things going back and forth. You're going to have the inter-island commerce. You're going to have the folks who need to inspect all that stuff when it comes through. And again, it's a big boon. I mean, think about people who don't have jobs in Rhoda and they're kind of stuck there, right? But you love Rhoda. you don't want to be gone and all that other stuff. And it's really expensive, the idea of going somewhere else to do all that stuff. But imagine if you leave on a Monday and you come back on a Friday. Like if you got like you got a few folks, maybe they're teaming up to help their families. Like me and a few bros, we're young 20-year-old dudes trying to go and support our family. We all chip in on an apartment in Guam. We go there Monday, work, come back on Friday, and we get to share all that stuff when we get back. I'm just coming up with what ifs on that one. But if that ability is there. And again, think of that absorbent cost it is to purchase a vehicle, right? It costs money no matter what. Imagine on top of whatever it is, whether it's brand new or brand new to you, you got to pay to get it to Rhoda. That's not cheap, right? I mean, I heard it's like $5,000 on top of the cost of everything. If you want to buy a hoopty, it's the hoopty plus $5,000 to get it there. Are you kidding me? How can you afford that stuff? You got a roll-on ferry. You got all those service guys who leave island back and forth. They're selling their cars cheap all the time over there. You could buy it over there in Guam, roll on, and roll off in Rhoda. Sean says, if the CNMI and Guam Customs would eliminate overtime processing fees, CPA got the stevedoring situation worked out, and CBP was in Rhoda, more flights could be offered and more ships would come in. Damn right. It's not impossible to get this stuff fixed. And that's one of the best things about at least this whole idea with this surface travel is that this whole thing would be federally funded. That's massive because we don't just have a few $1 million stored away that we can just spend on stuff, right? And that's why this whole thing about getting the allocated funding from the PUA, if we could reallocate it and repurpose that funding, could you imagine? Like that's over $400 million. You buy one of these things and you build this is for the infrastructure. Imagine they end up building something like this. Imagine this. Imagine they end up supporting the businesses who are already helping with inter-island travel. What if they, instead of subsidizing like the next flight to Japan, we subsidize inter-island travel? Now, I know it's a slippery slope. Like I had this conversation with these guys before, but like Star's like, hey, we don't want a subsidy. We just want to have the regular rates that we should have at the airport. I get it. But the subsidies seem to always come out to help somebody because they're trying to spark something. Well, wouldn't it be cool if we sparked the guys who are already helping us out or already working in that world locally instead of going out and getting someone else? I mean, I'm not against new things at all. What about a regional airline? What if we bought Sean a big plane? Sean, what if you guys were operating flights between Japan and the CNMI and Guam, right? You get past the whole cabotage issue and Star Marianas Air becomes, now you got to start doing maintenance on jets. First of all, pretty cool. We could call it Sean Force One whenever you're on it. And, if you guys... I know there's a lot into it, right? There's a whole lot of stuff in there. And part of this is, a little pipe dream, but like, imagine though, if we do have our own regional carrier, so we're not just relying on United. Now, TAN Holdings tried doing this, I want to say about 12 years ago. It might have been further back than that, maybe 13 years ago or so. Maybe it was even longer than that. But they tried to start Saipan Air. They went out, they got the uniforms, they got people the training, they got local folks the training to work as the flight crew. They had everything. And what ended up happening, they were going to do a partnership, I think, with Swift Air, and they got screwed at the end by some shysters out of Florida. But that, I thought, was going to be how we would get out of some of this. Right now, though, we're looking at the same issue. If we had our own airline here, I mean, if Nauru can do it, we can do it, right? Those guys are powered by guano. You know, we could be powered by, I don't know, come up with something. That to me, like, I want them to do something about the cabotage rule. I've heard that the temperature is not too high on that. But the thing is like, that would be great. At least for folks coming from like Japan or Korea, if they can come through the CNMI, then go to Guam and then go back. The price of United would instantly drop. And United wouldn't be going anywhere because they're still here. You know, they're pretty well vested in Guam. That's their hub. So it's a big issue, and it's a lot of them. But the one about the inter-island surface travel, and the other thing is with regards to the surface travel between Guam and Rota is key. And this study, they were trying to say, is there a one-size-fits-all? Speaking to you, we're hearing a lot about that, right, from our elected leaders, about the need to address our region without a one-size-fits-all. That even goes down to this situation, because I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all ferry. That was part of the conversation. Is there one ferry that would have to link the Saipan, Tinian, Rota, and Guam? I don't think that's the answer. I don't, because it's going to be a different size. You'd want a bigger ferry for something that was going to go between Saipan and Guam. I mean, really big, because the seas are a lot bigger and all that distance and all that. So let's not get crazy. But passenger, cargo, roll-on, roll-off ferry between Guam and Rota. I also think that would be really big between Saipan and Tinian. All the property values in Tinian would go up. The price of goods in Tinian would go down because the cost of getting stuff over there is cheaper too. Same with the same thing goes to the shipping of vehicles, right? Well, you're gonna tank the local shipping industry. Well, no, but right now that's a little bit too expensive, isn't it? And wouldn't this be moving us in the right direction? Yes. A surface transportation option between between Saipan and Tinian and between Guam and Rota. I don't think you need one that connects both of those two legs. 2 ferries would be great. One for each of those ports. I think it's a win. All right. We talk about that enough? But the main thing is, if the folks in Rota believe that to be true, that would be a big boon for them, they need to hold their leaders accountable. Or not hold them accountable. That's not fair. They need to let their leaders know that that's what they want. Because there are people who are saying that is not in the best interests of the community. I literally heard it from someone who doesn't live in Rota, that there's no appetite for passenger travel, surface travel, between Guam and Rota. I disagree. All right, it says, why can't they build a steel cable bridge between Saipan and Tinian? The technology must exist by now. All right. Ooh, that's a great topic. All right, so I can tell you what I know about that, and it won't take very long. But let's just see. Ocean depth charts. See if I can find. This is the open sea map. I want to see the one that talks about depths, nautical charts, and see. I'll show you what I'm looking at. All right, so where are we? That looks like Europe somewhere. I'm really pulling back there. It is Europe. There we go. Well, that's not where we are. So we're going to keep going east. all the way to this, my favorite island chain. All right, now let's see. Do they get specific on depths? That's 100% what I'm looking for on this. Right here. And I don't see any depths. Leche. Chart viewers. Well, that's what we're going to look for, the ocean depth. So from what I understand, the waters between Saipan and Tinian are pretty deep, right? Ocean depth charts. Let's see. Chart locator, CMAP. Online water depth maps and marine navigation charts. All right. Maybe this works. I don't know if this is called usafishermap.org. So maybe it's not around the entire world. Yeah, that's just the United States. So, all right. Well, so much for that. Yep. Not going to get the answer I want on there. So, but anyway, so I heard a couple of things. Is that it's really deep. Oh, there's a great link from Trey in the comments. Here, let's pop that open. Is that going to be it? Will that give me... All right, I'm looking at the link you sent me. Derived depths, is this the one I'm looking for? But it's only showing me Saipan. Does that also give me... Will that also give me Tinian? Let me try it in here. Can I change islands on here? That's Saipan, Marpi area. Help me out a little bit here. Yeah, it says some issues you'll run into is DOD lease land and National Landmark Northfield. I'll tell you what, interesting about that, Bruce. That's a good point, but I think the major issue is constructing something that big that only goes that far, that's going to cost that much. The DOD thing, though, DOD would benefit off of it. Be able to get people over back and forth pretty easy. It'd be an instant boon for commerce. For sure. Let's see, though. Yeah, I just wanted to get to the depths. I can't even get to my main conversation because I can't find the real depths around there. Although this is a cool link, it's not showing me what I was hoping to. At least it's not showing me easily. Oh, maybe that's it. That might be it. And that is by meters, right? Okay, so that shows, it doesn't show me the actual spot between Tinian, but it's pretty deep. Okay, there's an understatement. But it looks like what? Like 1,200 feet deep? Look at the bottom of Saipan. The map goes right up to Tinian. Is that Tinian below it? All right, but either way, it's still going to be somewhere between, at the shallowest point, about 150 meters, right, to the deepest point of like 1,200 meters is what I'm looking at, according to this. And that's crazy deep, right? So 1,200 meters, or 400 meters, that's like 1,200 to 1,500 feet deep. Yeah, that's pretty deep, number one. Number two, not exactly calm waters between Saipan and Tinian. Quite the opposite. Now, what is the longest freestanding span? Like longest suspension, longest unsupported. Suspension bridge. The longest, oh, this is a pedestrian bridge. Well, here we go. Ooh, this is not long enough either. It says the Akashi Kaiko Bridge in Saipan holds the record for the longest unsupported suspension bridge span, stretching an impressive 1,991 meters. That's 6,532 feet across the Akashi Strait. Now, the distance between Saipan and Tinian, I think it's like 3 miles. So that falls about 2 miles short. So the answer is put in something for it to be supported by in the middle. And also good luck with that because it's massive. I think it's just a little bit too big. They'd have a military checkpoint the minute you get to the end of the bridge in Tinian. Well, so that's the thing. They would probably have to close off traffic when they're doing some training. But the thing is that the training now, the plans they have now is so minor compared to what it was initially going to be, right? It was going to be a heck of a lot heavier before, but still. And how much would it cost to build something like that, right? Like the Bridge to Nowhere project in Alaska. Says we can't get bogged down with technicalities or bureaucracy. That's Guam style, not CNMI style. That's great. That's awesome. All right, guys, we are going to come back to this, but we're going to take a real quick break. We got to give some love to our sponsors for giving love to us, and I love that. We have no room for bureaucracy here. That is not our style. We are moving forward and getting things done. All right, well, we're going to get some stuff done right here. We'll be right back.
Paradise Dental's giving you the gas. Well, not that kind of gas. You already know that Paradise Dental has the most affordable coverage in the entire Marianas, and now we've got something special just for new customers. And now for a limited time, Paradise Dental is offering free gas vouchers for new signups for their coverage plan. If you sign up for a singles plan, you'll get a $10 gas voucher. If you sign up for a couples plan, that's a $15 gas voucher. And if you sign up for the whole family plan, that's a $20 gas voucher right after your first visit. So hurry down to Paradise Dental and sign up for the CNMI's most affordable dental coverage today. These gas vouchers are limited, and with smiles like these, you know they're going to go fast.
To be up 3-0. I'll tell you that. It probably is not great to be down 3-0.
I'm Brad Rosala, and I'm the owner for Commonwealth Communications.
And I am Jojo Alipuzu. I am the owner of Island Image and Ocean.
And this is our joint venture, Sideline Studios. This whole concept that we have of doing all these live stream productions and covering news and doing live shows and everything, it wouldn't happen if we didn't have a great partner like IT&E, someone who can handle the bandwidth and provide it and then get us what we need when we need it and then be a real partner for us for all the events, whether we're doing live sporting events, broadcasts. All of these things happen because of our partnership with IT&E.
With IT&E providing us with the fiber and point-to-point and even the MBRs, it's just a great piece of equipment to use when we're broadcasting our sports, our events, our performances, especially our cultural performances. And it's just great to share our culture here in the Marianas with the world. And IT&E has been there from the get-go.
The thing I like best about working with IT&E is how willing they are to come out and find a solution. Even for Liberation Day, we thought we had a pretty good solution for our live stream setup, and it turns out that we did not have the right setup that we thought we needed. That day, just before the parade, reached out to Paul and said, here's our situation. What do you think? He's like, we're gonna figure this out. While he's sitting there barbecuing, getting ready for the parade to start, he starts burning up the phone lines, calling everybody in IT&E, what can we do, what's the right solution? They left their families to do this stuff and get us the equipment that we needed to broadcast live. That's over and above. That's on a holiday. That's when he was out there spending time with his family.
That's why IT&E is just the best, just really in touch with the people and the community.
I recommend IT&E to everybody. Tell them the options are there, and you can choose whoever you want and then figure out what you think is the best. But when you're ready, when you're tired of having your calls disconnected or not having service, then you reach out to the guys from IT&E.
March 12, 1938. In Europe, Nazi Germany's troops march into neighboring Austria. The next day, Adolf Hitler annexes his homeland. Austria remains part of Nazi Germany until the final days of World War II. 1933.
My friends, I want to talk for a few minutes with the people of the United States about banking.
President Franklin D. Roosevelt gives the first of his fireside chats on radio. He tells Americans what steps he's taking to deal with the Great Depression. 1980. In Chicago, a jury finds John Wayne Gacy Jr. guilty of murdering 33 men and boys. Bernard Carey is the prosecutor at Gacy's trial.
Certainly in the history of this country, there's been no single murder trial with as many victims, nor I think we'll ever find a man as evil as John Wayne Gacy.
The next day, Gacy is sentenced to death. He's executed more than 14 years later. 1912. Juliette Gordon Low creates the Girl Guides, which later become the Girl Scouts of America. And 1987.
At the end of the day, you're another day older. And that's all you can say for the life of the poor.
In New York, the musical Les Miserables opens on Broadway. Today in history, March 12th. Ross Simpson, The Associated Press.
Marianas, welcome back. It is 8:54 a.m. here in Saipan, and you're taking a look down at the road over here in Oleai. That's right, that's Beach Road, where traffic comes to die. I know. It's okay. Eventually, they're going to get there. They were paving another section of it yesterday. I have no idea how they plan this out. They're making, I don't know. I think it is a home do-it-yourself project on a large scale, where you start one part of it and you leave the other part for months while you're working on another part of it somewhere else. That's how I see this project. I'm telling you, they just paved this stuff out in front of us yesterday and the day before. So we're going to have to find out. Will they continue in this section? Because they're all over the place. And I know, as someone who likes to start and stop projects, I know what that's like. Anyway, not going to bag on them anymore. We got too much stuff to talk about today. Yes, so we got a message from someone who was asking for the original interview date that we had with Miss Krista Dudek-Taribian. And I believe it was the February 4th edition of our show. So let me verify that. If you go to to our main page. Oh, gee, sorry, guys. I thought I put... sorry, I thought you were looking at me now. That's what you wanted, right? I mean, come on, this stuff. All right. Calm down. I wake up looking like this. If you know, you know. All right, so let's go in, though. So I'm on the NMI News Service page, and if you go... easy way to find it is when you go to the main page and you're looking for it, go to the More tab, and that'll get you to the videos. And if you scroll all the way down... because I found this yesterday when somebody was asking me. Again, I believe it was the February 4th edition of the show that it's not a standalone interview. We used it during the main show. I'm just trying to find out with the real quick if I could give you the link. Oh, you know what? Hold on 1 second. I think I have it. This is it. Copy the link. Right? I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. All right, so for you guys who are looking for the original interview, I'm putting it in the NMI News, in today's comment section in the NMI News Service Facebook page. And to the person who asked me specifically, I will send it to you specifically as well. So when you're trying to go back and it's like some people are just waking up to this story. They didn't know about it, or they're just hearing about it and they're just getting caught up on it. So it's like one of your friends who just came in like midway through the Lord of the Rings. And they got to see the Hobbit stuff first and everything else, you know. Yeah, I get it. You got to go back. You need it. It's like watching Star Wars starting from episode 4, right? You want to go back, see them all in order, or watching all the Marvel stuff. You got to start with Iron Man and make your way forward, right? Until they come up with something that predates that. What's the real order? That's how this saga goes. So anyway, so that's there for you in the NMI News Service. Forget Netflix, get Bradflix. Nice, Tobot. That's great. I know, right? I mean, it's not me. This is exactly, telling the story. I loved it I loved specifically the comment that Moses said. He said, Saipan has a way of attracting crazy people. That might be why I'm here. I mean, I resemble that remark. Was that, who said that? Was that Groucho? All right, it was. So here's what we got. It is just about 9 o'clock. Oh, Joshua Gray in our comments. By the way, great to see you, Joshua. Such a great dude, man. I hardly get to see you in the comments, but I'm happy when I'm over there hanging out at Godfather's, probably drinking a few beers with Scott, getting pizza, and then when you're there and getting to catch up with you, dude, I love it. It's great to see you. It says, breaking news, Education Department to fire 1,300 workers. The purge continues and federal money for education will probably come to a halt. Let's find out about this. Let's go to our home for info here with the Associated Press. I'm looking for that now. It says, live updates. House passes bill to fund federal agencies through September. Senate prospects unclear. Here it is. Education Department plans to lay off. Here, we'll give you a share screen on this so you guys can see this too. So I'm verifying this is from the Associated Press. Education Department plans to lay off 1,300 employees as Trump vows to wind the agency down. So there you go. Wow, that is breaking news indeed. So let's do this. Let me go to the White House website, which by the way, that is like a great news source for me to get it directly from them. I didn't go to the White House as much before Trump was president. Now I see everything through him. We've got all the news that you need. All right, let's see. These are the actions as of today. I'm going to show you what I'm looking at. Ensuring the enforcement of federal rule of civil procedure. I bet that's the one about the protest thing. We'll talk about that. Nominations for the Senate, hostage, restoring public service loan forgiveness. Ooh, see what that's all about. All right, briefings, statements, articles. Let's see if it's in there. I don't see anything about it yet, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. It just means it's not on here yet. What is that? What is this? How about that? By authority vested in me as president of the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered. In 2007, the Public Loan Forgiveness Program. Hold on, let's see if there's anything in particular that makes this stand out. It says in 2007, Congress established the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program to encourage Americans to enter public service sector by promising to forgive their remaining student loans after they completed 10 years of service in those jobs while making 10 years of minimum payments. Prior administration abused it. Okay, so what did they do here? Prior administration, Sleepy Joe, abused the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program through a waiver process using taxpayer funds to pay off the loans for employees still years away from making that. Moreover, instead of alleviating worker shortages, all right, let's go through. Come on. So what are you actually doing here? All right, so Secretary of Education shall propose revisions that excludes organizations that engage in activities that have substantial illegal purposes, including aiding or abetting violations of federal immigration laws, supporting terrorism, child abuse. All right, there's a lot to unpack with this one. It has nothing to do with the education thing that we were looking at. So the let's go back to this. So, this is it. So the Education Department, according to the Associated Press's report here, says the Education Department plans to lay off over 1,300 of the employees as part of an effort to have the organization's staff, a prelude to President Donald Trump's plan to dismantle the agency. Department officials announced the cuts on Tuesday, or Wednesday, today, raising questions about the agency's ability to continue usual operations. The Trump administration has already been whittling the agency's staff through buyout offers and the termination of probationary employees. After Tuesday's layoffs, the Education Department staff will sit at roughly half of its previous 4,100, the agency said. Layoffs are part of a dramatic downsizing. And this is something that people are going through in all kinds of different agencies here, right? But not all of them are being threatened to be dismantled. It says the department is also terminating leases on buildings in cities including New York, Boston, Chicago, Cleveland. Department officials said it would continue to deliver its key functions, such as the distribution of federal aid to schools, student loan management, and oversight of the Pell Grants. Pell Grants are key. Pell Grants helped me through school, that's for sure. So did the GI Bill. Today's reduction in force reflects the Department of Education's commitment to efficiency, accountability, and ensuring that resources are directed to where they matter most, to students, parents, and teachers. That's according to Education Secretary Linda McMahon. I'll tell you what, nobody wants to see education suffer in the United States, but our education system kind of sucks. That doesn't mean our teachers are bad. It doesn't mean I don't agree with folks and all that other stuff. You know, it's literally that when you've seen our education standards and our testing levels drop over the years, and they have. I'm not talking just locally, I'm talking nationally, across the board. Something's not right with our education system. So I am not freaking out about this. But here's a big key. It says, whether the cuts will be felt by American students, as Democrats and advocates fear, is yet to be seen. Already there are concerns the administration's agenda has pushed aside some of the agency's fundamental work, including the enforcement of civil rights for students with disabilities and the management of $1.6 trillion in federal student loans. It says McMahon told lawmakers at her hearing that her aim is not to defund core programs, but to make them more efficient. I like the idea of getting the education system, like get that pencil sharpened a little bit. But I can't imagine, for the life of me, that they would take anything away from students with disabilities. Because in my limited existence on this planet, I've seen where, people who are like students of special education were in their own classes when I was growing up. They were in their own classroom. You'd only see them, right? You'd only see them at lunch in the cafeteria where they had their own special table. Maybe you'd see them walking as a class going to do something. Now, the kids with developmental disabilities are included in the classrooms. They get to be like, unlike it was like when we were kids, they're like real classmates now with the other students in the school. They get to really enjoy like a school experience. Is it more challenging? Hell yeah, it is. It's got to be more challenging for the teachers because that's a whole new dynamic that teachers that we grew up with didn't have. Does it cause some disruptions in the classroom? Oh, I imagine. But that happens with kids anyway. And if anything, I think it's been such a march forward in the past, I mean, what do you want to say, like 40 years? Supporting students with developmental disabilities. And to see any of those protections go away would be a tragic loss, I think, for everybody. And I really hope that's not the case. Because it's kind of beautiful. Because a byproduct of that is parents now not sheltering their kids away from the rest of the community. They're included in all these events. They bring their kids to events now. They're not just hiding them away at home as a source of embarrassment. No, they're still a source of pride because they're your kids and you're taking care of them, and they're cherished by you and loved by everybody now and shared with everybody. So it would be a tragic loss if any of these kind of things resulted in a backtrack of that. But in my heart of hearts, I don't see that happening. All right, here's what we're going to do. It is 9:08, and I have a hot engagement at 10 o'clock that I got to be to. So before we go, I will leave you with the recap of that interview that we did yesterday in the afternoon. Not just a recap, we'll pop it up here so you guys can watch it. I think it's about 30 minutes. Maybe it's 22 minutes. Hold on, we're going to pull this up real quick. I got to mute it and pause it. How long is this thing? It is 29 minutes. All right. So we'll run this back for you so you guys can watch this. And that'll be it. That'll be how the show wraps up today. So I'm going to turn it up and leave you guys. Have a great day today. And again, this gets you caught up on the interview that you would have missed yesterday. Video call going on right now. And for some reason, I can't seem to get the video part up there. Well, let's find out. See if we can't do this part right now. There we go. We do have the video part working. All right, are you there? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, hello.
Hush.
Oh, I can hear you now. Can you hear me? Okay, I can hear you. I can't hear you answering, though. Oh, wait, there's your video.
I see you. I can see you and hear you. Good to see you again.
All right, you too. All right, well, hey, we've got you on now, and this is something that we've been trying to do, so thanks for taking the time to get with us today. Again, it was really interesting. So, and we could jump into all kinds of stuff. It seems like you had a pretty interesting few days.
Well, it was actually just one day. I mean, it all happened in one day. So what happened was first of all, I'm not dead.
Okay, that was the big thing. The first thing is we heard that you were no longer here.
Right, I'm here, and I'm looking fleek as usual. So what happened was Friday, I went to Micro Beach in the morning to swim, and my phone got stolen. So, I mean, I usually just keep my phone. I use two towels. Like one I lay out, and then one I fold as a pillow, and I always put my phone underneath the pillow part. And I've never had a problem with it, like any issues with it before. But when I came back in from the ocean, it was gone. So I looked through my purse, I looked through my car, I looked through my house, it's gone. No, it was just stolen.
Wow.
So my phone was stolen on Friday. So then came home, showered, whatever, went to, for the first time, IT&E, because I didn't have a mainland phone. This was an iPhone I had a mainland phone, I didn't have a Saipan phone. Okay. So for the first time I went to IT&E to get a new phone and to get new phone service, and then on the way there I was messing with the radio for 1 second, and in that 1 second that I was just changing stations, there was a drop off on the edge of the road, and I just went straight into it. So my car got totally messed up, just from, there wasn't a hit on me.
Yeah, I know.
Just a distracted driving. There was a distracted driving situation where I just messed up for a second, trying to change the radio station because the song sucked, and then went off into a ditch, and then came straight out and kept driving. Then I just kept driving. I went to IT&T. I assessed the damage. I was like, oh man, that don't look too good. But I got my new phone. Came home. The rest of the day was uneventful until someone's calling in. I gotta decline. Okay. Can you still see me? Can you still hear me?
Yeah,
so I'm getting calls.
I can hear you.
I'm getting calls and messages like crazy because people are like, freaking out.
Well, because there was a story in the place that you lived that said you were dead, like that, and it came out. I think it said that you were dead on the 6th, and then all this stuff happened on the 7th, right, on Friday, and so like
that's right. My phone got stolen, and then I got in the wreck going to IT&E. It wasn't really like a wreck; it was just like a fender bender or whatever. And then I got my phone, and the rest of the day was pretty uneventful until that night. So, I was just visiting my neighbor, who Johnson thinks is my boyfriend, but he's not. Like, he's just my friend. But Johnson's all like mad about this, like thinks he's my boyfriend. He's not my boyfriend. He's just my neighbor and my friend. Anyway, he smokes cigarettes. I don't smoke. So, but he was smoking a cigarette outside, so I just went outside with him and I was just talking. And this is about like 9 p.m. on Friday. And then there came this SUV that pulled up in the parking lot. And we're up on the 3rd floor. And my friend, so out of this SUV came one man and 3 women. And I don't know these people. I've never seen them before in my life. But there was some mistaken identity between there were some words exchanged between them before they realized that they had a mistaken identity. They weren't talking to the right people. But in the meantime, the 3 females that was with the male with the mistaken identity started popping their mouth off at me. So I started, of course, I'm not a bad person. I was always taught to respect everybody, no matter who they are. Give it back right at you, quick as fuck, with no regrets, no matter who you are. So these females started popping their mouth off at me, so I just ran my mouth back. I thought it was just the end of it, just a verbal confrontation. But then they came up, walked up to the apartment that was right by my friend's apartment, and out came 4 more people, another male and 3 females. And then there was words exchanged between us. The women started calling me a Barbie doll and a white bitch. Those were quotes. And I told them, y'all need to stay back. Here's a line. Y'all need to just be over there and let us be, But they just kept running their mouths. So I said something back about somebody's physical appearance. I think the one that called me a white bitch, I said something about her stomach being bigger than her butt or something something that was really true. I mean, it was true. So I think it touched a nerve, right? So then they just run at me. So they just jumped me, run at me, started jumping me, couldn't fight couldn't fight an honorable person one-on-one, had 8 people jump me, right?
Wow.
So they took my hair. Yeah. So I was jumped by 8 people, but I mean, I'm still standing, I ain't got no problem. I didn't even call the police. So 8 people jumped me, including 2 men, punched me in my face. This one, because they, I guess they're super jealous of my hair. That's why they call me a Barbie. So they took my hair. I have a jar full of hair in my bathroom because they pulled out so much of it. Oh. They took my hair and pulled me down. It's not funny, right?
No.
But they took my hair and the face you made was funny. They took my hair and pulled me down to the concrete. So I got a concussion from hitting my head on the concrete, and then just started wailing on me. But I had pepper spray. If I would have been in Texas and had my 9, I mean, this would have been a different story. But all I had here was pepper spray. So I just got my pepper spray out and just started aiming for the eyes, aiming for the eyes. And then my friend who was with me pulled off the males, and the pepper spray got all in the females' eyes. So eventually, it stopped, and that was the end of it. And I just got up and walked inside to my friend's apartment. I didn't call the police, but the police came and they told me 3 other people had called the police. And people say all kinds of crazy stuff, first of all that I'm dead, that there was a hit on me. Listen to this. Like, the police told me, the sergeant, he's a super nice guy, but the sergeant told me that one witness had said that I walked 3 floors down the stairs because somebody in that group was peeing on my car, and I was trying to like go stop them from peeing on my car, which was crazy because 1, I never walked downstairs. 2, nobody was peeing on my car. 3, the car that they pointed at wasn't even my car. Like, it's somebody else's car entirely. Like, so like, where do they get this? I don't know if they really believe it or if they're just trying to get some kind of attention or what's going on with them. But yeah, anyway, so I found out that the video doesn't have audio. So they couldn't hear, because this is a hate crime. This isn't an assault. Like, once you involve race, it's a federal hate crime. And also in 2023, the Marianas enacted their own hate crime statute, which includes race and national origins. So once you call me a white bitch and you attack me on the basis of race, that's a hate crime, both federal and Commonwealth. But the police didn't seem to understand that. I don't know if they're not trained. They saw it as like just a simple assault. I found out that the video doesn't have audio. However, the one who was like obese with the big stomach, who called me a white bitch, she was stupid and entitled enough, like absolutely entitled enough to, while there was a half a dozen police officers standing out there, like she was still popping off at the mouth and called me a white bitch again in front of the police officers. So they heard it.
Wow.
So yeah. So even though it wasn't on camera, she said it again in front of the police officers. Like, while they were there, like she was still, I guess I really touched a nerve. Like, she was still running her mouth, still said that. Like, so I respectfully, not in any way confrontation, just calm as a cucumber like now, just said, like, got the names and the badge numbers of the police officers who heard her say that, just for evidence going forward. And then they asked me if I needed to go to seek medical attention, and I was like, no, not really. I mean, it's pretty sad if like 8 people beat you down and that's all they can do to you. Like, you don't even need to go to the hospital. Like, so I just went to bed, and then I thought about it. Like, the next morning I realized, if I'm going to pursue this in any way, I do need to go to the hospital, not because I'm in any kind of hurt or pain, but to document my injuries. So I did. I went to the ER. I got all my injuries documented with concussion and all kinds of abrasions and bruises and stuff like that. So I think, like, I saw like pictures. I don't know, like pictures of me in the hospital. Like, that's just me in the hospital. Like, because I was going there to have my injuries assessed, and I had to get an MRI and all that stuff. This has nothing to do with me being dead. I don't know how someone got the picture. I don't know what's happened. I've had my phone hacked before. I did lose my phone, so it might have fallen into someone else's hands. But when I got my phone, like my new phone that I'm on now, and Facebook and my Messenger and all my social media, I didn't see anything like pictures being sent. I didn't see anything coming from my account. So I don't know, like, who sent this or from what account, or I'm really not sure what happened. But it was a crazy day on Friday, and then the next day, Saturday, I wake up to like banging on my door. Bang, 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 Torbjorn. Torbjorn, open up, I'm like, okay, what's going on? So I open the door, it's the police. I'm like, okay, I'm assuming it has to do with the
Friday
hate
night
crime with the assault. Yeah, but it didn't. It was like a welfare check because people had reported me dead.
Wow.
So I was like, yeah. So like when I opened the door, they like, for a second, there was a male officer and a female officer. When I opened the door, they like, their mouth kind of like dropped and they like stepped back like for a second, like in shock. I think because like I had just woke up. Like when I wake up, I just look like this. This is like It's just how I look. Like a lot of women say, "Oh, I wake up like this," but they actually don't. But I really do. Like, I mean, I don't have like a flower in my hair, but otherwise, I just look like this. So I think they were just shocked because one, I'm alive. Two, I look like this. I just woke up, and so they're like, step back for a second, like, wow, what in the world? And they were like, we are just checking on you because there's a rumor going around that you're dead. And I was like, okay, all right, no, I'm not dead. Like, I got like beat down the night before, but I'm not dead. They didn't kill me. That I didn't even go to the hospital. I went to the hospital after the police came. So I was like, I didn't go to the hospital. Like, I'm fine. Like, I'm definitely not dead. And they were like, okay, we were just checking. Okay, great, no problem. And that's when, like, you wrote me and you were like, okay, I found out you're not dead. Cool. I was like, yeah. Like, you knew before me that I was, like, deceased. So, and then, like, I opened my phone and there was just, like, all kinds of stuff, like, flooded in, like, about me being deceased. And I was just kind of, like, responding, like, wow, that's really a shame.
Well, after you said that you were alive, I'm like, okay, well, I bet your phone's going to be blown up. And so you were saying it has.
It still is.
So, so we reached out to the paper to say, how, where did you guys get this info? Because we talked to folks here and she's fine, thinking again. So that was where the conspiracy part came in, right? Where someone's like, oh, maybe after the stuff you were saying about like getting into the car accident and getting beat up and all that, right? That maybe there was something coordinated, that they were coming to get you, and that they put out this story ahead of time just to leave any doubt, because it mentions in there about like that there was a suicide note, that you did it with a car and all this other stuff. And it's like, holy cow, where's all this stuff coming from? Right. So we reached out to the paper and they told us that they were getting messages from somebody in Saipan who was claiming to be your uncle, who had flown in from New Orleans and sending all this stuff and saying that all this stuff happened. And it's like, holy cow, right? I mean, like, this is like, wow. And, it went on, and that's where those pictures came from. They said that whoever was sending those pictures or sending that info was sending those photos also of you being in the hospital and being deceased and all that stuff.
I don't know. I don't know where that came from. Didn't come from my account. I wouldn't be surprised if it did come from Palau, because I do have a lot of haters there that have hacked my account before, that have put like pictures of me up before, like half-dressed pictures, stuff like that before. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was just somebody like coming from Palau with some kind of fake account doing this.
Well, there's somebody who just said, I'm glad this is verified and that you're okay. Auntie Dudek, thank you for this live.
Thank you.
That's Siska Reina Terion.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I'm totally fine. Everything's great. I even went, because of this crazy nonsense, I went back to the beach like the day after to take like a video, just to post to show like, hey, I'm totally fine, like, so that people will stop calling me and stop messaging me and stop freaking out, like, so I posted the video. So I thought that would like be enough to like let people know I'm okay, but I'm still getting calls. So I don't know, like, eventually it'll die out. Like, it's just one more crazy thing, and mi vida loca.
Well, it is definitely a crazy thing. That whole Friday sounds like an adventure that people wouldn't want for a month. So your cars, you got your car, you got a new phone, and you got a new lease on life.
On it right now. Yeah, everything's good. Everything's good with me. There's no problems.
that's a wild story about Friday night that all of a sudden that kind of stuff happened. So have you checked with DPS on what the progress is on all of that?
No, I'm checking with the apartment today. I'm trying to get the video from them because in addition to like the state prosecuting it, you know, I'm an attorney myself. I want to bring a civil suit. So I want to get the video from the apartment. I'm having a bit of a difficult time getting it from them. But yeah, we'll be checking with the Saipan police or DPS or whoever I need to check with, the feds. Like I said, the Saipan police, I mean, they were super nice, but they didn't seem to understand like that this is not just a simple assault. Like this is a hate crime. I don't know if it's because the statute's new. It's less than 2 years old, so they're not like educated on it. But there was some kind of like miscommunication, but between them, like them not really understanding the law. But
well, they weren't able to tell us stuff, you know, all that confidentiality. They were able to confirm that there was the complaint and everything, and they said, you know, they can't give more details because of an ongoing investigation. So I understand that, you know, at least for our perspective, because we're not involved in it, right? So, but apparently that's something that you guys will have to work out. But yeah, man, I'll tell you, it was just wild. So when we spoke with the folks in Palau, they again were just they didn't have all the details either. You know, they were asking us if we could verify it with the police and try to, you know, so she's okay. I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, so what are you gonna? They're like, they're gonna run a new story in the paper that the whole thing was a hoax. Now, they said that they're gonna say that, you know, this was never it never happened. So they're gonna have to figure out how all that stuff happened.
I don't know. But I'm just like, I don't know. Not surprised. I mean, I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. It's just like, these are the things that actually happened, and then the things that were said to have happened weren't even like close to reality. So yeah, I don't know what articles are gonna run, but definitely like they should have like verified some kind of source first before they ran an article, you know.
Yeah, that's the tough thing. That was the whole part of the conversation that we were having with them, was like, where did that come from? How were you able to do that? Like if none of that stuff was confirmed, right? So, you know, they said that they were there. They said they spoke with your uncle Robert Boyd, who said he was here in Saipan, and that whole thing about being in the morgue and asking, they asked to verify all that kind of stuff. The stuff that it says in the paper, for sure. But he got into more detail, saying that they spent $500 for you at the morgue, and that they were asking for more funds for a proper burial for you on March 21st. It was just like, again, wild stuff.
Something. I don't know.
What's that? Sorry,
I first thought. Me like a scammer or something, like trying to get money. I don't know. That's my first thought. Like,
that's what
they're trying to. Yeah.
But wild stuff. But you lost your phone and heck. Oh, I meant to ask you this part. In the midst of this whole thing, while you're getting scrappy with these girls who come after you, where was the mace? Like you said, you got them, but like you had it on you, or you had to grab it?
No, it's in my pocket.
Oh man, jeez, just that's pretty easy, man. The idea of that whole thing is crazy, and the other one is just have it on your pocket. You're prepared. You're ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. Absolutely. You gotta always be prepared. Always be prepared. My dad taught me that.
That's a great,
number one.
Great lesson for everybody.
Yes, it is.
All right. So, any message for anybody out there? Maybe folks who are worried about you.
just, I'm totally cool. Not sure what happened there. Did get like some kind of beat down. Wasn't scrapping. Don't know these women. They was just some kind of jealous females. Don't know them. I'm totally fine. Everything's cool with me. Posted videos for me, like being at the beach yesterday. Just check out my account. I mean, my life's good. I got no problems. And I did tell you I was up all night playing Fortnite with my son, so I'm kind of like dazed. But
No,
everything's good.
how is your Fortnite gaming? Are you good?
I'm not near as good as my son's. He makes fun of me. That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I am not good at that game. I have given it up years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, he's really good though. Yeah.
All right, so last time we had you in the studio, we got to meet your husband and everything, and we were talking baseball with him and all that stuff. Do you know when he's due back next time?
No, I don't know. I think he was coming sometime this month. I don't know. He has like trials. I'm not really sure when he's coming back, but I'll let you know. Like, 'cause I know y'all want to like have some kind of interview about baseball, so.
Oh yeah.
When I find out, I'll let you know. Yeah.
All right. Well, great. All right. Well, thanks for taking the time today. I know that again, you probably got a million messages coming in, and so really appreciate kind of.
I hope you stop it.
Yeah. I message when for folks who are watching, when I message, I'm like, hey, you want to call tomorrow and get you on and break the internet, because I think that's what's going to happen when you get on.
Yeah, I told you I'm like Wreck-It Ralph. Let's break the internet. Let's do it.
All right. Well, thanks for that. Thanks for your time. And it's good to see that you're out and about and doing just fine.
Everything's good.
All right.
All right.
Thanks so
I'll
much.
Talk to you later.
All right. Take care.
Yeah.
All right.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
day.
You too. Bye-bye. All right. Well, you heard it right there. That is the voice of, I'm just seeing some of the other comments coming up now. That you got her right there. That's Krista Dudek-Duribyung, who is just on with us to talk about her side of it. All right. So that was yesterday. You could see the difference between the backdrop yesterday, where we had the sun was setting, because we did that later in the day before we got out of here. All right, guys. Well, hey, I've got to get going. We've got that stakeholders meeting down the road. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all your comments. Thanks for all your questions. We'll be back again tomorrow morning for another edition of Good Morning Marianas. Again, this show is great and great fun, and it's because of you. So thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for liking the page. Thanks for following the page. Thanks for subscribing to our YouTube. Thanks for following us on Instagram. And if you haven't already, please do. NMI News Service. Find us here on Facebook and follow us. Follow us on Instagram, and please subscribe to us on YouTube. All right, guys, we'll see you again tomorrow morning. Time to get out of here. Take care. Have a great day.
So many things we got to discuss. Happy day, Tirawami greetings to Rhoda, Guam, Saipan, and Tinian. For all your island news, from a beautiful place with Pacific views, it's always so much fun on Good Morning Mariana.